Hey, Que Pasa Mufasa, it's Brendan back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about why is wedding photography so damn expensive? Why is it when you go and hire a photographer, you're going to spend thousands, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a photographer, especially when you start talking about wedding photography. So I've been wanting to make this video for a long time now, and it came about from a bride that made a post about why our photographer is so expensive that they want and they're demanding $3,000 to $5,000 for a wedding just to take pictures, right? That's how they put it. And when I saw that post, I figured I would make a video trying to explain the reasoning behind photography, wedding photography, and the prices. Whew, it's cold. It's freezing. Obviously, this bride was upset because she has a photographer that she had wanted to hire. Obviously, she liked his work. And when they got a quote back on the packages and prices, it was way out of their budget. And she went to Facebook and made this rant on how photographers are so expensive. You know, they shouldn't be asking for this much amount of money because they're just taking pictures. So the thing with weddings and wedding photography is that it's a luxury. It is a want. You don't need to have a huge wedding, right? This is not a need. You can go to the courthouse and spend a couple $100 filling out paperwork, getting married legally, and that will be it. Having a huge grand wedding, spending $50,000 to $100,000 on a wedding is not a need. It is a want. And people who spend that amount of money are looking for a luxury experience, right? So you don't go to a Bentley dealership or a Porsche dealership asking for discounts, right? You don't go to those dealerships and say, why are they so expensive? It's just a car. All it does is drive you from point A to point B, right? If you are saying those type of things in a Porsche or a Bentley dealership, you are not the customer that they want. They want somebody who's after an experience, who is after a luxury product, who wants something that is gonna last, is timeless, and makes them feel good. And the same goes for wedding photography. Not only are you paying for the photographer and their experience and their skills and their camera gears and all that, but you are also paying for the experience that the photographer brings to you. When you get the photos and you look at them, you're gonna feel a certain way when you see your images from the wedding day. Alrighty, so we have to talk about the finances involved in wedding photography. There was a lot of costs that are pretty obvious and some that are not so obvious. So the obvious cost would be that you have to buy camera, right? Not only do you need one camera, you need to buy two to shoot an entire wedding, because if the first one breaks, you don't have I don't want to go to the iPhone. Do you want me to shoot iPhone portrait mode? No, you got to buy two cameras to have as a backup, just in case the first one breaks or just starts to malfunction during the shoot. You have to buy the lenses. Lenses are $2,000 to $3,000 each, or no, maybe like $1,000 to $3,000 for a lens, okay? And we have to buy multiple because of different focal lengths. The batteries, the SD cards, all of my hard drives that I use to back up all of my images, and then the not so obvious costs when it comes to shooting a wedding. When I want to edit photos, I have to use a program called Lightroom and Photoshop. You might have heard of them. They charge monthly. There's no way to just buy the program outright. You actually have to pay monthly for it. If I want to send a contract or an invoice, I have to use another program called Honeybook to send out contracts and invoices, and then when I do get paid, I also get money taken out as a transaction fee. And then some other not so obvious costs are flashes and strobes, and then the little umbrellas that you have to add onto those to make, give you a certain look that you want. All of that stuff is very expensive. Hell, even the freaking light stand, they have a light stand. They're called C-stands. They cost about $120 to $150 per stand. And if you have 4 lights, you got to do the math. All this stuff is very expensive. I've probably spent about 20 to 30 grand on equipment just to, alone. Oh my gosh. That is a lot of money. Now, you tell me, do you want to spend 20 to 30 grand on photography equipment and gear? Or would you rather spend 2 to 3? Take your pick. So we got to talk about the time that is involved in a wedding. So we have the pre-client meeting, right? When you go and you first meet with a couple. So that could take an hour just for the meeting alone, plus the 30-minute drive there and back. So we're already talking about maybe 2 hours involved, and we haven't even booked the client yet. Prior to the wedding, I usually sit down with my couples for about 30 minutes to an hour. So let's just say another hour. Okay, we have the engagement shoot, which can run up to 2 hours, and then from there can take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to edit an entire engagement shoot. And then we actually have the wedding. So weddings can run from anywhere from 6 to 12 hours in length. And so the common misconception there is that you're just there for those 6 hours or those 8 hours for the wedding. But then after the wedding's over, we still have to edit the photos. We have to cull through the photos, which takes about another hour to 2 hours to narrow down all the photos that we're going to edit from a wedding. And then we got to edit them. And that's another, I could spend a full week from about 8 to 5 editing photos, a 40-hour week on one wedding. And then once we deliver those photos, if they ordered an album, then we're still going to be coordinating back and forth with the couples even after the wedding is complete to make their album and to deliver their prints. So there is a lot more time involved in wedding photography from just those initial 6 to 8 hours that people think you're just there for their wedding. That's a common misconception that I hear a lot, is where people say like, oh, you're just there for 6 to 8 hours for a wedding and you make $5,000 on a wedding? Man, you must be banking it. Well, not necessarily. What you're paying for is the photographer's experience. They know where the light is going to be at a certain time of the day. They go and they scout out your venues or the location that you're going to shoot at. Obviously, you would pay more for somebody who has more experience than somebody who's barely starting out. That is one of those unwritten things that you're paying for your photographer. Shooting weddings now for a few years, I already know where to stand for certain parts of the ceremony. I kind of know when somebody's going to start laughing during the speeches. You kind of anticipate these moments to happen, and you know where to position yourself so you can try and get the best type of image for your clients. Somebody who's new at this doesn't have that sort of experience. All of the time that went into learning all of this, all of the mistakes that I've made in the past, all of that makes you a better photographer. And rightfully so, you should charge for that. Tiger Woods spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours at practicing at becoming the best golf player that we have ever seen. Okay? It did not come naturally to him. These skills as a photographer are not just something that comes naturally. It is a skill that is honed in, it is learned, and it is perfected. All of those hours and all of that time that is spent learning the craft of photography, that is what you're paying for. You're paying for our experience, and you are trusting us to get the job done no matter what. So I hope you like this video. It is freezing. I can't feel my hands. My hands are numb. It's cold out. I should have recorded inside, but I wanted to be all artistic and everything and shoot outdoors. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Anyways, I hope that answers a lot of the questions that people have when they're hiring a photographer and they want to know why is it so expensive. And I'm trying to do that. I hope I answer that in the best way possible. My name is Brendan. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, do all that stuff. Comment down below about your thoughts on all of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.